You seem to still be up there somewhere.
Maybe I am. There are flying saucers.
Supposing they're Martians or something in there.
Hey guys, welcome back to another Weird Wednesday. I'm itsasherz, and this is
Cassie.
Cassie, how was your weekend?
It was pretty good. I mean, I worked Friday. Saturday we had like this family dinner get together thing because we haven't really all got together since my grandma and grandpa died. So we tried that out and tested the waters, made sure everybody still got along, and it went good. Sunday I worked, and then I took Hunter home because he stayed the night here Saturday after the dinner. It was good. It was very relaxing, and now it is freezing. What did you do this weekend?
I played video games all weekend long.
Wow.
All weekend long.
See, this weekend coming up, I don't have to drive anywhere because the kids are with their dad, so I'm so excited and looking forward to just like relaxing.
Absolutely. You know, I shouldn't have done that all weekend long. There's definitely a lot more responsibilities in my life that I should have taken care of. So honestly, by the end of the weekend, I felt pretty guilty about it.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is I was playing with my daughter, and it was an opportunity for us to bond. We were playing that new Animal Crossing update, so
okay. Well, that's fine then if it's with your daughter.
It was with her, right? So I'm like, well, obviously it's not for me because I would play Persona 3 all weekend, but it was with her, so we played Animal Crossing all weekend. That was it. But yeah, it's cold as fuck. I mean, you guys want me to go out and fucking look for UFOs in the middle of the goddamn night when it's -10?
You can't even breathe. It's so cold.
Am I supposed to be in the woods right now? Are you kidding me? With a slip on some fucking frozen ice out there and die? I mean, no, I'm good. Like there's just nothing to do right now. So I'm
I have to park on a hill, like at work, the parking lot in the back is like you have to go up a hill to get to the parking lot. Then I walk down. Well, usually if there's snow, I walk down on the snow because I know I won't slip because like it's packed together every time I step. But today, like soon as I stepped on the snow, I slid and I'm like, yep, nope, not today, not today.
I found some like tread that you can put on your shoes.
Yes.
Yep. And they're amazing. So like people that work on ice rinks use them.
Okay.
And they just slip on literally whatever pair of shoes you have. They're like $15 a pair on Amazon. You can probably even find a better deal. But there's so many of them. Man, you put those things on, you're not fucking going anywhere. Like you can walk on anything. And I got them because I'm old and I have really bad neuropathy in my feet. I can't feel them. So me walking on slippery surfaces is pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
Me going to the woods is pretty dangerous. I do it, but I really shouldn't.
You just shouldn't do it alone.
That's why I take people, right? They're like my tracking dogs, right? I'm like, walk ahead of me. Let me know if there's any holes, because otherwise I'm fucked. But I bought those those treads for your shoes or whatever. And man, it's a fucking game changer. It's insane. Like I said, I just can go anywhere and do anything and not even have to worry about it. So I don't know. Look into that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I park right in front of the cemetery, so I guess I don't have to go far if I slip. But
you wouldn't have to slip at all with some tread on. So you'd be
right.
good. We're just getting older. We need these tools. It's a crazy world we live in where you can just buy these things to put on your feet so you don't slip on ice. It's wild.
Right.
So, but no, we played video games all weekend. My sister, I've been in this weird mode because my sister is getting ready to have a baby.
She hasn't had that baby yet?
She still has not had this baby yet. And, I don't think I clued the listeners in on what exactly is going on, but my brother-in-law fell on a kid's toy. See, this is why you need tread and stuff in your life, because anything could happen. He tripped and fell on a kid's toy and broke his ankle in 2 places. And so he is completely out of commission. She's getting ready to get cut from side to side to get this baby taken out of her. And it's just been like, I've been waiting in limbo for that to happen. And I
You
can't.
make it sound like horrible, like cut from side to side.
Well, that's what happens in a C-section. They do that cut, you know.
I have a C-section, but I wasn't cut from like. And you just make it sound like it's like her whole like stomach is just cut from side to side,
Cut a giant
and the baby just
gaping
falls out.
hole. Yeah, well, yeah, they cut a big old gaping hole. They take your whole uterus out of your body. And then they cut the uterus open, I think. I don't know if they cut the uterus. I didn't have one, so I don't really know how it works. But
Mine doesn't seem that big to pull everything out of my body. I don't know.
if they do, yeah, they pull it.
But I
out of
guess
your
they
body.
pulled twins out of it, so
Right, they pulled 2 babies out of it.
2 1-pounders though, so you know.
It is. It's a listen. Any cut that has a direct entrance to my organs, like I'm good on that. Like I don't want to, like that's traumatic anyway. So yeah, like I said, it's been like I just can't do anything until that happens because he just had
Gotcha.
his surgery on Friday, and he can't walk on it for 4 weeks. Period. Point blank. No wait. 4 weeks.
Oh,
Yep. And she still has not had this fucking baby. So yeah. So it just feels like. Like I said, I can't do anything. It's like a continuation of the holidays. You know how the holidays get kind of weird, and you're like, "What do I even do with myself?" That's the mode I'm in right now.
well,
And
since it's
so-
a C-section, is it scheduled?
it is,
Okay.
it is. But every hour, she thinks she's in labor.
Oh,
So-
I gotcha.
and she's an hour and a half away from where we
Mhm.
live. So it's like, so if she does go into labor, we have to be up there. Anyway, it's just been a lot. So it's not even my fucking baby. It's not even my problem. But I guess I've made it my problem. So here we are.
Yeah, that happens. I mean, when my brother and his wife were pregnant, like I was worried all the time too. Because my
Yeah.
pregnancies were like nothing. Like the kids, like I was, I was at the hospital for like less than 5 minutes, and the babies were all out of me. Like,
Yeah, I was pretty much pregnant. They made me come in to get induced. I went in and they were like, "Oh yeah, you're already like you're in good labor." I had no idea. And I'm like,
right?
that's good, I guess. And then I had a baby, and then I went home. I don't, I don't know. Not that it was an easy. It's not necessarily an easy experience, just not quite as dramatic as what I'm dealing with right now, I guess is what I'm saying. So, but people die. People die giving birth to babies. It happens. There's always that threat of death every time you have one.
If you're pregnant right now, I'm so sorry. You have to listen to this.
could die.
You're not going to die. You'll be fine. Like,
You probably won't die. People have done it since we've been around. I mean, so, and they didn't have pills or nothing back in the day, and they just did it. I don't know. They didn't have no fancy machines to hook up and watch. They just were pregnant. They pushed it out and went back into the fields to pick fruit or whatever. I don't know what they did. But,
Yep. That's how they did it.
we don't have that luxury now. Now you it's nice. You go to the hospital, you get all the good drugs. They know what they're doing. If there's a problem, they can usually fix it. And then you go home and you just watch Netflix or whatever for like 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Feed the baby and change it, and that's about it. And you're good. Newborns are so easy.
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite. Like, and I when I had a newborn, I was like, oh my god, I was freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But in hindsight, man, I just wish I could have enjoyed that time a little better.
Right.
But if I ever had another one, which I won't. Anyway, so that's been my life lately. Super boring. I'll stop talking about it now because it's not that interesting.
Yeah, I haven't really done much of anything either. Like I got to get some paintings done this weekend, and that's about it.
It's winter, there's just
I
not a
got to
lot
go get
going
an
on.
expensive crown put on my tooth on Wednesday. That's for
Ooh,
sure.
lucky.
Yeah. Great.
Good luck with that. Well, let's let's do some news.
All right.
I have two. I'll go with my news, and then you've got all kinds of news. So we'll just jump into it.
Okay.
The first piece I want to talk about is something that will have already happened by the time this episode comes out, but has not happened yet. But in case you guys don't know, I want to direct your attention towards it because I feel like this is going to be really important. Tomorrow, January the 20th, there is going to be a press conference held by a gentleman by the name of Fox. I want to say Jamie Foxx, but I feel like that's the comedian, and that's not correct. You know what? I don't know his fucking name, and I should, because it's literally my job to know his name, but I don't. Anyway, he's holding a press conference in DC. It's one of the UFO things. However, what he's talking about, I'm so hyped for this. He's talking about the Virginia alien incident, the Roswell, basically, of Brazil. You guys remember Virginia? We talked about it on the show.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of a huge deal. So, basically what happened was there was this alien spaceship crash, this large military presence, not just large military presence, and not our Roswell, it was just some people reported seeing some bodies being dragged from the debris. This was like different. There were multiple witnesses to strange creatures kind of running around on the loose, some of them injured and afraid, and kind of threatening people in their own type of way, or kind of even pleading for some type of help, and people being too afraid to help. It is a super fascinating case, but the big kicker of this case is that it involves several police officers. I mean, these are, again, important people who allegedly collected one of the bodies, and while they're collecting one of these injured aliens, it had like released or sprayed some type of chemical on one of the police officers, and he actually had to go and get treated at the area hospital because he was suffering burns or something horrible.
His name is James Fox, by the way.
Was it really James
Yeah.
Fox? I think
James
I said
Fox.
Jamie Fox.
Yeah.
Is what I said. So I was close. I knew his last name was Fox. Like I said, I should know who he is. I don't. He's some talking head in ufology. I don't give a fuck, who he is. But I will care for one day because of this press conference. But the things that they're supposed to kind of present at this are, again, in regard to that case. And so, the thing is that if this happened, right, and people have asked this for a long time, if this really did happen, then where's the evidence that it happened? Where's pictures, videos, aside from just eyewitness accounts, even though there's a massive amount of them for this particular situation, if they had alien bodies, where are they now? Well, that's the thing that James Fox is intending, I guess, to present. That's the idea. That's the hope, is that he's going to actually have maybe some photographic evidence, maybe some video evidence, maybe a specimen. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I just found out about this literally 2 days ago, and I'm hyped. So, who knows? Maybe you guys are listening to this now and you watched it happen yesterday, and you're like, wow, Asher's is a fucking moron. She had no reason to get excited, because I'll tell you, plenty of these disclosure hearings and things like that, it's always a bunch of nothing, right? There may be some really interesting, you guys know I call it Project Blue Balls, and I always will. There's maybe some interesting stories that are told, but they're not unique. It's not anything that we haven't heard before. And so to someone like me, they're very boring, but I'm actually excited for once, and I think that's going to be really neat to check out. And I know somebody that's going to be there, so I'm going to drill him with all the questions when he's done, because I want to know. So
I remember when you and Flood would discuss, or you and Tobias, and how bored you would be because you said nothing's ever going to come out anyways.
Right, exactly.
They're not going to let us know anything.
And that's kind of my sentiment with it. But with this, it's interesting. At minimum, I think that the UFO disclosure movement is what I call it, and that's all the people that follow all those talking heads and stuff. I think that probably a lot of them, there's probably, I'm sure, a good handful that are familiar with Virginia, but probably a lot of them don't know the story. It's
Right.
not like a huge classic in ufology, and it should be talked about more. This is a big case. So at minimum, I think just getting the exposure on it from an American audience is going to be really interesting. Because I think that is an important story. We need to share it with people. So, I think that's a good thing. I can't see that being turned into a negative at all. But then again, the UFO disclosure movement has surprised me previously when it's come to disappointment. So we'll see.
Why wouldn't it?
Right, why would it be any different? So that's my first news. I want to go into my second news.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Okay. Do you remember? Probably sometime last year, maybe around this time last year, there was a gentleman, and it blew my. Oh my god! I can't believe I'm saying it blew my mind, but it did. It blew my fucking mind to see this. There was a gentleman that was making waves on social media with multiple videos because he was walking around the Nashville, Tennessee
Yes!
area with his fucking head.
Yes.
I knew you'd know it. For anybody that doesn't, okay, this man, this seemingly homeless man, was just walking around. There's videos of this everywhere. This dude walking around, and his whole prefrontal cortex is like missing, and his head is wide open, and his brain is just. It's just visible. It's just hanging out. He didn't have a hat on or anything.
Nothing, and he was picking at it.
He's right, and he's walking around. It's so crazy to me because I just still can't get over it. And man, I made such a big deal about it when I first saw it because it just, like I said, really fucking blew me away. I just couldn't believe that.
You're never gonna see it again, probably. Like,
right, and then it's just something that you see, and I was trying to figure out, like, who the fuck is this guy? I've learned a lot about him. I don't remember his name. I probably did find out who he was at the time, but what I had learned was that he was in a car accident.
mm-hmm.
And that's how he got the injury. And he initially went to the hospital. And so they removed a part of his skull to reduce the swelling. But they were it was open. It had to stay open while it healed. But in that process, he left the hospital and they couldn't force him to stay, even though his brain was completely. I can't get you guys to understand this enough. His brain was completely exposed, okay?
Oh, yeah, you can Google it still and see the pictures. It's crazy.
Completely exposed. And he just got up and left. And, they would try to hold him on, psych hold and things like that. They couldn't because he could pass all the tests and he just fucking did not want to be there. Now, a lot of people are saying he's a local homeless man. He'd been walking around like that for some time. They even reported at one point in time, it was worse. He had maggots and shit on his brain, and he just walk around like that. And people try to get him help. They're always calling the paramedics. The paramedics would come out. They would bandage him up, but that's about all they can do. And then those bandages don't last. Anyway, I have an update on this guy.
Okay.
He, his brain is his head is still really misshapen, and maybe that's something he probably could have fixed or can fix later in life. But his wound is closed.
Really?
He's alive.
Good.
His wound is closed up. Yeah. I think he's still. Actually, he's in jail. So.
Well, thank God it's closed.
And his head's closed up. Yeah. I mean, so he can't really. I mean, in jail, he gets the proper treatment. Crazily enough, because their medical system is terrible. But.
Well, they wouldn't even accepted him to go into population at the jail if he had that. There's no way they could keep that clean or anything.
Right, and not be in trouble if something were to happen. Right. So, it is closed up. It is like a more of a pink skin over it, so it's still pretty fresh. But yeah, I saw that, and I saw that today because you, Cassie, sent me a video. Of what's his name, the Gerlach guy.
Yeah.
Of his storage shed. That's kind of going around. So, but the video
everywhere.
The video that you had sent me was small, and I couldn't see it very good.
Yes.
And I wanted to see it better because I'm a sick individual. I don't know what's wrong with me.
No, I scrolled like 2 more clips down, and I saw a huge one too. I gotcha.
So I went to my death group. Yeah, I went to my death group and Googled his name, and I'm like, let me see the video. And I did. I saw the video. Which is crazy work, by the way. I guess we can talk about that for a second. I mean, it was police body cam footage. They were inside of his storage shed. And, the half decayed bodies didn't really bother me as much as the fact that some of them literally had suits on.
Oh, I
So
thought you were just like making fun of the person in the video that said that. Like that really bothered you?
no, it really did. I was like, oh, that's because I
Oh
don't
wow.
know. I go to like oddities events. One of my good friends owns the oddity shop. I've been around dead bodies and like in that capacity. So like to see a skeleton, it's not a huge deal. But to
Hmm.
see one with a suit on, it just kind of really hits that like, oh yeah, that's right. He dug these people up from their graves.
Right.
Why wouldn't they have their suits on? Um, but yeah, I thought that part was disturbing. Of all the thing. But because I went and looked at him on my death Facebook group that I talk about a ton, for whatever reason, and I don't know why, the Tennessee guy also showed up, and I was like, what? So that I had to tell you guys about it because I know I talked about him for a long time.
Oh
I
yeah.
talked about-
I remember talking to you about him.
yeah, we were talking about him. That's what I said. I knew you were gonna know who he was because you don't forget. I mean, of all the shit that I've seen, that's just crazy. Now
Yeah.
I can't say that he won't have some type of like brain cancer or something. And you can't like your brain is not. I said this in that episode where we talked about it originally. You can't expose your brain to the fucking sun. It's not supposed to. It's not used to that. But he did.
Scenarios are just like running through my head right now. Like
For how bad that is. But he's alive. That's the most shocking thing, I think. I mean, the human body is insane, dude. That's insane.
mhm.
That's fucking crazy. So, anyway, while checking out the sad scenario of these dead people, I found this, it's still a sad scenario, but it got more sad because of his own life choices. I don't know. But he's alive. So,
Good.
anyway, that's my news.
That he's in jail, but
Maybe we'll get it together. Who knows?
what did he do when he's in jail, did it say?
I know. Who knows? Probably, I hate to stereotype anybody, but let's be so for real. Probably drugs. Something related to drugs.
Honestly, if he went through that and didn't have to do drugs, I mean, that's like
That would be even more amazing, right?
right.
Fucking the feat of the century.
But
For
it
sure.
would like, you know how like your tooth gets sensitive and like even like a cold gust of air will like make it hurt really bad. Like,
yeah.
can you imagine your brain if like when the air hits it and it's never like used to that ever, how bad that would feel? Like,
Well, I don't know if your brain has those types of nerve endings because it's not supposed to. Because it's not supposed to be exposed.
nah, that's true. I don't know.
I don't know. I've never. Cassie, it's never
Yeah.
happened to me before. I've never walked around with my brain hanging out. I don't
When
know.
it's not something you can just ask people because nobody really knows. It's just
Nobody
like you have to
knows.
ask that guy.
I mean, at
What
minimum, like,
jail's he in?
his
Can
head
we
and
write
shit.
him letters?
Ooh, that's a great idea, actually. Well,
Right?
because if he's well enough to not be held on mental health issues, then surely he'd write. Yeah, I'm so interested. I mean, has anybody
We
ever
like put
discussed
money on his
that?
books for the phone card and get him to get on the show.
We talked to him. That's a great idea. We might be able to.
Right?
He'd probably do it. I mean, if he
What
can
else
buy
is he
him some
doing?
ho-hos and Twinkies, right? He's not doing anything else in jail.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to look into this a little bit further. I got to figure out who he is exactly. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's a crazy situation. My brain still can't comprehend it. My brain is like, that's not cool. There's something
Right.
odd here. Think of the most paranormal thing you've ever experienced in your entire life and how shocked your brain was. Now times that by 1,000,000, and that's what my brain's doing.
Because it's just like,
doesn't
I mean, you can
understand.
see it. It's not something that's there you can't see and something's making noises in the corner of your bed. It's like you can see like this guy's brain is out of his head.
That's not supposed to be, it's there's like people that have like gotten shot in the head and survived, and they get like,
Mhm.
obviously they're deformed for the rest, and it looks terrible. It's like somebody missing an eyeball too, right? If you see
Right.
the actual eye socket, you're like, oh, that's strange. It
Mhm.
makes me a little uncomfortable, but whatever, I can deal with that. This is not that. This is like on a totally different level because their
Yeah.
organs and shit aren't hanging out anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So,
It was Like, I had to really look at the first picture I saw of him and be like, is that what I think it is? Like,
Is this real? And like you said, there's videos and stuff, and he's picking at it. He's
Mhm.
picking at his brain. It gets me so worked up. I don't know. I don't know. I got to stop talking about it for now, but maybe we'll get him on the show. We'll see.
yeah. Yeah.
You know, I'll buy him an Arby's roast beef classic sandwich for, to get him. I'll get him a beef and cheddar to get him on the show.
I mean, they can't get it in jail, but I mean, when he gets out, yeah.
I'll get him a nice beef and cheddar sandwich.
We got to figure out what he's in there before you start offering him stuff when he gets out.
That's fair. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. We'll see. Yeah, to be continued further, but at minimum, I can be happy closing in on he's still alive from that whole situation. His brain being exposed to the elements and sun and whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead, Cassie. Take the floor. It's your turn.
All right, I got some stupid ones. A man was arrested in Spain after he tried getting on the plane with his dead wife. So this 80-year-old man tried to get through the airport's metal detectors in Spain with his wife in a wheelchair. And the security noticed that the woman was unresponsive and not breathing, and she was cold. So the guy said, well, she wasn't dead when I brought her here. The airport conditions killed her. She's been dead for a couple hours while we've been waiting in your airport. So while this crazy case is being investigated, I guess, to see if there's cameras that show if she was alive when they came in or not. Yeah, they arrested the guy. So there's an 80-year-old guy in jail because he tried to take his dead wife on a trip somewhere, I guess.
I feel bad for him. I really do, because even if she did show up and she was dead when she got there, I don't think he did it.
No.
I just think that he's probably in severe denial about, or he's got issues himself, but I like that was his argument. Well, I mean, she was alive when she got here. It's your airport that killed her. What does he think happened? What killed her there specifically?
It doesn't say. It just says the airport's, what's it say? Hold on. Let me go back to it. It was so vague. The airport's facilities, which are being investigated. So nothing went into it. It's just the airport's facilities killed her.
He was trying to weekend at Bernie's her. I love that.
Right?
When I die, guys, do that. Take me somewhere.
Please.
Yeah. I don't know where, but do whatever. You cut a little hole in my back and up through to my mouth, make me like a puppet. Like in a couple horror movie, like in Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, they do that to the police officer. Do that to me. That's what I want done.
Just dance with you and stuff.
Yeah.
Out on the beach,
Put some sweet sunglasses on me. Yeah, we'll party all weekend.
Jesus.
Just when you're done, throw me in the ocean or up on a mountain or whatever. It's fine. I don't need it anymore. I'm not using it. I can't take it with me. Wow. What a story.
Right. Stupid news number 2.
Okay.
A Louisiana woman claiming to be a mermaid went for a swim in her neighbor's pond and came out in handcuffs. So this woman is 41 years old. She went skinny dipping in her neighbor's pond, and when he called the police to escort her out, she started claiming that she was trying to be a mermaid. So that is why she was naked in this pond. That was not hers. She now has several charges: 3 counts of resisting an officer with force of violence, 2 counts of public intimidation, 2 counts of battery of a police officer, disturbing the peace, and criminal trespassing, just because she wanted to be a mermaid.
I really want to see that body cam footage. Because she's resisting arrest and shit too. So she's it's wild. It's gotta be. Yeah, what logic was there? I mean, first of all, don't mermaids... I mean, I guess there are some freshwater mermaids, but they live in the ocean. Everybody knows that. Duh.
Right. I
Second of
mean,
all, was there like witchcraft involved? Like how, like what is it that would have turned you into a mermaid in the neighbor's ponds?
I don't know, but from the TV shows that I have watched, I am not jumping in a random person's pond not knowing if there are alligators in it in Louisiana.
Well, that's exactly yeah, that's a great point.
Like,
That's a
you're
really good point.
crazy.
Or well, who knows? Or even, killer piranhas or Jason Voorhees.
Yeah.
You don't know what's in someone else's pond. You don't go dipping your toes in someone else's pond.
Right.
That's just not good for you as a person. But maybe she saw mermaids coming out of it. I mean, how did she get to that point where she goes, if I get in that pond, I will become a mermaid? And then what are you going to do once you are a mermaid? You're going to live in the pond the rest of your life?
I mean, I guess they can't take her to jail if she just has one large fin.
Why? Why can't they? They can cuff her in the back and pick her up by the shoulders.
Yeah, but do they have like a waiting tank? I don't know.
The fucking chief at the police station is like, you can't bring her here. We don't have equipment for that.
Take her to SeaWorld down the street.
She'll do good there. That's a good point. I mean, yeah, what was her plan if she became a mermaid? I just...
Right, and like, that's the point. What if she became a mermaid? Because she went into this situation saying, I'm trying to be a mermaid. Like,
right, then what? Then what do you do? I mean, I have a hard enough time, like, socializing with people. You know what I mean? You think I'm going to be able to call people and show up to my pond to hang out with my mermaid ass?
Right.
Probably, actually. I mean, I would. If one of my friends called me and they're like, hey, you're not going to believe this.
Be like, what?
I'd be like, I got to see this. I got to check this out. Yeah, I don't know what her plan was. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's a good life being a I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like, that doesn't sound cool. I'd rather be like a unicorn than a mermaid.
They're both evil creatures.
Well, that part's true. But at least with a unicorn, you can like leave.
That's true.
Go wherever you want.
Yeah, you're pretty much just stuck in that pond. I wonder how big the pond was.
Right.
She's out in a puddle in the neighbor's yard. Like,
it's just a little koi pond. She's naked in it. She's got 2 feet in. Yeah, that's a good question because, I mean, it's a pond. It can't be that big.
I don't know. We got a pretty big pond, but
to live in the rest of your life?
No, because I'm not even going to live in my house the rest of my life. I got to leave. I don't think she thought like that far through. I think she was drunk. She had to be drunk.
I like how the idea is like we're criticizing her for like, what if she actually did become a mermaid? And it's not the fact that like it's illogical in the first place. Like, what is she gonna do once it happens?
2026. Who knows what's gonna happen this year?
Okay, all right, that's a good one.
Okay, so college football games on the night, championship. People are gonna bet on it, right? Now, for 2026, they are taking bets. Will Jesus return before the end of 2026? And people are betting. Last year, the same question was offered up. Will Jesus Christ return before the end of 2025? And they got $3.3 million in bets last year.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yes. Right now, I know I saw it somewhere. $67,000 has been raised on that bet this year.
For yes.
Yeah.
how can I bet on that? Because I'm definitely going to bet no.
Only 2% is voting in the affirmative. So only 2% is voting yes. Everybody else is voting no. But if he does make that return, you are going to be set for the rest of your life.
That's a good point.
So it says you can bet on Polymarket and Kalshi? Kalshi? Kalshi?
Yeah, I've heard of like these betting things and I've never participated before.
So these two only do forums on odd bets, like odd political races or like real world events.
So like exactly this question, is Jesus going to return? What if Jesus was like, he was like, well, I was going to return, but because the Bible says no man shall know the day, now I'm not going to.
Right.
And like that's why he hasn't returned yet, is because every year there's some type of, religious person, religious cult leader that, makes this is going to be the day, it's coming. And Jesus is like, well, I can't now. They can't know when.
Can't even help you guys.
They're the ones sabotaging it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and if you're Jesus, why not have a little fun with it?
I mean, you can do whatever you want if you're Jesus.
Jesus, right. Jesus can have a little fun. It's probably he's probably bored, Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'll take that bet and I'm going to say no. But it sounds like there's no money in saying no. So maybe I'll play 4D chess and I'll say yes.
I mean, there's probably no money that way either, but
there's at least a chance.
If they know you'll get your money back.
Oh yeah, true. So I'd lose money by saying, that's a good point. I'm gonna think about this one.
Right. All right, one more, and it's more of like it's an actual thing, like it's a serious one. Vermont lawmaker is setting sights on the skies with a new bill posed to create a UFO panel within the state. So they want to put this panel together in Vermont based off of the 2024 like New Jersey UAP sightings of all the weird things they saw in the skies. So they want to put this task force together to investigate unidentified aerospace and underwater objects. It would be composed of officials from Vermont's Department of Transportation and Public Safety, while also opening up seats for lawmakers and experts on the topic.
Okay.
So the man, Hedrick, he said that I am not a subject matter expert at all. As a policymaker, I think we have an obligation to remain attentive to emerging trends in public safety. So obviously he thinks it's a public safety hazard, and he wants to have like a group to kind of like shush these things when they happen, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, probably. Obviously having two big UFO stories in one episode's it's kind of a tell of the times, right?
Right.
This is a huge topic, and everybody's talking. And I'm sure they're talking about it because they definitely had all that weird shit happening, with the drones and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I can't say that I'm surprised that the public is getting more and more interested in this type of thing. But when the public gets interested in something, that means that the public also gets to speculate about something. And it is, the thought of aliens, frankly, is terrifying to a lot of people. Even myself, even us. You don't want to think about not having, being out of control of your body, your surrounding, and that is a lot of what we hear about when we hear about these encounters with these things. Now, there are some encounters that aren't necessarily nefarious or negative, but most of them are. Most of them is, again, you have no control of the situation, and at minimum, that's still not a situation I want to be in, even if they have my best interest at heart. I don't.
Yeah, I'm pretty good, like just in my own bed all the time. I don't need to be like taken away from it in the middle of the night.
Right, just against your will. Even in like a medical situation, like I hate being chronically ill because I feel very out of control when it comes to that, and there's nothing that I can do to stop it. So I'm not a fan, and I can't say most people are, except for maybe the submissives out there. Maybe you guys really like it, but you're a small group compared to the whole entire world. So I respect them for wanting to create a committee of some sort to handle these things as it happens. And I think that we do need to have more groups like this instead of just something on the federal level. I think we should have stuff on the state level for sure. But how much can we trust that?
That's
Probably
what I'm
not.
saying. If they actually came out with something that wasn't like, if somebody saw something in the sky and reported it, and the state government came out and said, oh, we don't know what that is, I would believe that. Don't tell me it's like a drone or a weather balloon or something stupid. Like, nobody's going to believe that anymore. Like, if you say, I don't know, like, okay, I'll believe you.
And this shit keeps happening. It's always happened. But, like, now, even with all the UFO discussion, they're still like, oh, it's this thing. We know what it is. It's this thing. It's drones. That's usually the most popular. And then it comes out months later that it's not drones at all. We're never going to trust you.
Right.
Never. Like, you're hurting more than you're helping. But I think that for them to say we don't know what it is, again, is terrifying to a lot of people, and that's why they do it. Or to pretend like they do know what it is. It's sad. It's sad that it is that way. Now, we know now that those drones that were spotted in the New Jersey area, that was I believe it did come out that was a test craft that the government had contracted this group to work on. That was something that I kind of recall seeing here recently. I'll find some more information on it and update you guys next week. But was it a drone? Well, yeah, technically it kind of was. But for us to pretend like we didn't know who it belonged to, that was a problem, because we did know who they belonged to. In fact, we hired them to do it. And then told everybody else that we didn't know whose they were.
Right.
So again, we're just, and our own local drone incident here with Wright Pat that shut down the Air Force Base. We ended up finding out that had nothing at all to do with any drones whatsoever. It was a fucking like 3D cube thing floating around in the sky.
Oh.
Right. Which is horrifying.
Yeah.
And they shut everything down for it. All the aerospace in that area, because they didn't know what the fuck they were looking at, and rightfully so. And we still don't know what the fuck they were looking at, but we know it was some cube. It was a cube up there.
Like man-made or other?
No, an unidentified flying cube.
Gotcha. Yeah, no.
But again, they attributed it to the drone hype because that's what everybody was talking about at the time. And that's what everybody was reporting on. So they were just like, oh, it's just those drone things again. No, the two totally unrelated incidences. And so what we're finding out as time goes on is that you had the New Jersey that did have a craft that was to blame. But then you had these other crafts going on in different states that at the time they were saying was the drone incident, but they weren't. And our government knew that they weren't, but they were fine with people believing that they were.
What if none of it was a hired thing, and it took this long to come up with a cover-up story to like kind of make us believe that they knew what they're talking about?
That could be too. Right, exactly, because we can't fucking trust a word that they say.
Exactly.
And that's the problem. Don't trust the government. Don't trust ever. Don't trust them. It is, we're recording this on Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Huh.
So happy for those. Cassie's like, oh, we are? Oh, that's right. It's Monday, not Wednesday. I know, it's always surprising to people. But most people don't know that the U.S. government is the one that killed him. And that's been proven in a court of law. But the U.S. government has never publicly recognized that ever. And I'm not going to make this political at all. Human rights shouldn't be political. They're just human rights.
Right.
But just to, give an example of, you just don't trust your government ever.
Okay, so here's a question. For some reason, and I don't know, is this a new thing or like, I don't even know how to explain it, but on my feed on, I think it was TikTok and maybe my Instagram or Facebook reels, like saying that Anne Frank was a fraud. Is this something like, so something just come out about this? Like, why am I getting more and more of these?
So, God, maybe we should do a whole episode on it one day. So this falls in line with the same. There's a conspiracy that Helen Keller, you know Helen Keller, the deaf and blind woman, who went on to go do a bunch of amazing
that's who it was,
things.
Helen Keller, not Anne Frank.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting because they both go hand in hand kind of together because it's kind of the same idea. So Helen Keller, I know more about it from the Helen Keller side than the Anne Frank side, but Helen Keller, she went on to go do amazing things, write a bunch of books. Allegedly, she flew an airplane at one point in her life, and that's pretty great for somebody that's deaf and blind.
Right.
People
You
say
can't even
that,
get your driver's license if you're those things.
right, and she's out here flying planes. What the fuck? No, she there's people that say that she was a fraud. Like she didn't really do those things. Like she was deaf, blind, and dumb is what they would have called them. So back in the day, it was they were all kind of deaf culture and blind culture are the same thing in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird for me to explain, but my sister's deaf. I know all about it. So she went to a specialized deaf school here in Ohio. A lot of places have them, but a lot of these like deaf schools that they have per state, they used to be like the school for the deaf, the blind, and the dumb. Deaf, blind, and dumb were all kind of categorized together. And I'm not saying dumb to be mean, but that's what they called people who had mental delays, I guess. I don't know what the PC term is now, guys. I'm sorry.
Right.
So they just said that Helen Keller herself was also in that same category. She couldn't have been because they didn't treat deaf or blind or dumb people with any type of respect whatsoever. So she couldn't have done all these amazing things. Even if she were sentient enough, she would have to have been like beyond genius level to figure out how to overcome her challenges of being blind and deaf to do all of those things. But what people also don't know about deaf and blind people or, whatever, is that it's not just you're deaf, you have no sound. You're blind, you have no sight. It's a spectrum of loss. It's, it's not necessarily you're completely deaf. Like I said, my sister, she's deaf.
Mm-hmm.
She's not really deaf. Well, she is now. But for the majority of her life, she could hear you with a hearing aid. She could hear. But it's certain pitches that eventually kind of go over time for her in her case. So now she is completely deaf. So even with a hearing aid, she can't hear. She's, but if it's really, really, really loud, I think she can still kind of hear something. If not hear it, she can definitely feel it. Either way, again, it's a spectrum. So it's not like she's completely deaf. And then there's some people, same thing with being blind. I'm legally blind. But I have written a book and have written a second book and, well, probably really more in that second book. And here we are. It doesn't really stop you. So was Helen Keller on some type of spectrum when it came to those disabilities? She very well could have been, yes. And so therefore it's not as limiting as some people think. But there's people that think that it's a conspiracy. She was used to sell books and they just used her as a figurehead of things like that. Some people believe kind of the same thing with Anne Frank. Anne Frank didn't exist. And, I don't know if you know about like how they came across her diary and stuff. It's not like Anne Frank herself grew up and gave it to people. In fact, Anne Frank died in a camp. It's that her journal was found and then that was published as a book. But some people say that it's totally fiction. None of that happened. Wasn't real.
Gotcha.
So that's silly. It's a silly conspiracy. A lot of people think that obviously the Anne Frank one is kind of rooted in a lot of race, because there's people that think that Hitler wasn't that bad.
Right.
And they'll use like logic and reason and be like, oh yeah, he's fine. Actually, here's a really good example of this. Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Gypsy Rose. So I was a huge Gypsy Rose supporter when she came out of prison. And I think we all were, right? This poor girl, she's been abused her entire life and she couldn't take it anymore, so she kills her mom, right? To
Right.
get out of it because she couldn't any other way. We all watched The Act on Hulu, right?
Oh yeah.
You know, she tried to escape that one time and she couldn't. She couldn't get away. She tried.
hmm
And so I'm like, good for her. Good for her in her life. I can't wait to see what she does. But as kind of time went on and I watched and saw what she was doing, and I didn't necessarily judge her on that, it did make me kind of interested because a lot of people kept talking about how much she was a fraud. She was never abused in that way. And I'm like, okay, well, let me look into this. So I did. I've been looking into it. And I will say, I'm not a big Gypsy Rose supporter anymore. There's a lot of shit out there that she, claims has happened to her, but there's no proof of any of it. And there's a lot that I've learned about her and kind of the later, those later adult years of her life and how she was living. She had a whole bus pass and everything. Her mom, Dee Dee, she was very sick. And so it was Gypsy going to the grocery store and shit without her chair,
Right.
walking around town, living her life. There's just, I'm not going to get too deep into it. Maybe we'll do an episode on it if you guys are interested, but there's a lot. And it's like, holy shit, that's not correct. But the thing is that, you know what? It's Gypsy's word, who's alive and well, against Dee Dee's word, who's dead.
Right.
And it's all speculation. So if you choose to believe Gypsy and her word, if you find her trustworthy, then sure, she was an abused child. But if you look at the evidence, you find, wait a minute, something's strange here. And I think that, having the availability of like the internet and your own ability to research is empowering to people because they can look into things like, well, okay, somebody found this little girl's diary, but how do we know that she was real? So they become curious. Well, there is evidence. We do know that she's real because she existed. There's proof that she existed. But, some people also fall for, they would rather believe the fun story, which is that she wasn't real at all. It's a conspiracy than they would, the actual. This is a big tangent that we've gone off.
It's all right.
Sorry about that, y'all.
We didn't have good weekends, so,
Right. We had to fill it with conspiracy talk. I don't know. Let me know, guys. You guys want to hear about Gypsy Rose and how terrible she is? It's really interesting. We'll talk about it sometime.
I don't trust anybody on TV, so, it's just.
You shouldn't. Yeah, you shouldn't. Or the
It's
government.
like the new show that just came out, Suddenly Amish on TLC.
Oh.
Okay, so this is crazy. It's about this Amish bishop who has his brother and his wife and then some other kid that's trying to get back into the Amish community, house these 6 strangers that are just regular English folk living their own lives, that want to live the Amish lifestyle to get the more simple feeling from the world. So they bring them into the Amish community and blah, 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 whatever. But it's filmed in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which is Amish country in Pennsylvania. And they have these big stories about their lives and stuff there. And you know what? The one guy, I serve pizza to him and his wife all the freaking time. They come in to eat. They live right here. The bishop isn't even fucking Amish. They all ride their e-bikes and have their cell phones and stuff. And I'm just like, you gotta be freaking kidding me right now.
Well, yeah. So, talking to you, you're my Amish go-to.
Right.
I've learned a lot about the Amish from somebody that, lives there. It's really interesting. Because the only exposure I had, even though I'm in Ohio, I'm not in that part of Ohio.
Right.
But the only exposure I'd had to it was probably in, from like the movie Kingpin. Which is a great movie, by the way. But you hear about the stories of the Amish, but that's pretty much people can just make up whatever the fuck they want to, and then everybody else just believes it because they don't know. You don't know what you don't know. Again, moral of the story: don't trust the government. They lie
Or
to you.
TV.
Or TV. Or TV. Just do your own research on things. Do a little digging on things, and it doesn't mean that everything the government tells you is a lie. It doesn't mean that everything on TV is a lie. But you have to, again, do your own research. and make it good research. Watching YouTube videos or listening to podcasts, even this one, is not research. Fuckers. I love you, but damn. Anyway, on to things that are lies. Why don't we talk about the episode, all right? What we're going to talk about. Do a little solved episode. This week, we are talking about the 2007 Gable film. Now, I can't get into the Gable film without talking about Mr. Steve Cook and the birth of the legend. Let's get into this. In 1987, a radio DJ by the name of Steve Cook airs a song he created for April Fools titled, quote, The Legend. After playing the song on air, this happened around Traverse City, Michigan, by the way, Cook became overwhelmed with people calling in to report that they've seen the creature described in the song. Thus, the legend of the Michigan Dogman was born. So we've heard that term, the Michigan Dogman, right? It's like its own cryptid.
Yeah, Beast of Bray Road.
Well, that's Wisconsin.
No.
No, it's still Michigan. It's all Michigan. What's it matter?
It's cold. Fair. It's northern.
Cold, northern. Yep. Midwestern. Yep. Same thing.
Yep.
I bet they make casseroles and talk about, let me squeeze on by it. We know.
Oh, yeah.
Midwesterners. Linda Godfrey. Okay. She's kind of the one that she was kind of the guy for Dogman stuff for a very long time. She was a journalist. I believe she was a journalist, and she was getting reports of these things concerning the beast of Bray Road situation. And she was a skeptic at first until she started talking to these people. And then she went on to write several books about the topic. Okay, several of them. So you had a lot of activity going on in that area. The Steve Cook guy insists... I've got like hiccups or something tonight. What's happening? This fucking beast of Bray Road. Steve Cook insists that he had never heard of these types of legends before. That he, of course, had heard of like werewolves, and basically that's what he had made the song about. I don't know how making a cool song about werewolves is an April Fool's joke. Like what? Who's he tricking? I don't. What's the punchline? Is that the punchline that they're? Is it? Well, I mean, I don't get it.
Right. I don't know.
Obviously, I'm not the only one that's stumped here. Because it doesn't. If he had done like a War of the Worlds type of thing where he had like fake callers calling in reporting a creature, I mean, that would make sense.
Right. But this is just a song.
A song. And, it's a pretty good song, actually. It slaps pretty good. Not gonna lie. Check that out. The Legend by Steve Cook. It's all right. It's not as good as people say it is, but it's pretty good. Anyway, so yeah, I don't get the joke, and I guess maybe someone else explain it to me, please, because I don't understand. But once he releases this song out here, again, like I said, the next part would have been more the joke to me, that he's getting reports now of real sightings of seeing this creature. And, but no, he insists that those were genuine. It was baffling to him. He still didn't necessarily believe that, there's a Dogman creature. He has famously stated that he believes that people believe they have seen this creature. But he walks on the skeptical side of it. Anyway, why are we talking about this for a film that came out in 2007? We're going to get there.
Right.
Steve goes on to continue to kind of be the person in that area for Dogman reports, right? So he's getting all these sightings. He's not just getting sightings. People are sending in photographs. They're sending him foot casts. I mean, basically anything and everything. He was the hub for all things Michigan Dogman for a very long time. He even went on to create a website to kind of, put everything for people that are interested in this type of thing, because clearly there's a market for it. And he puts it out there. Steve had alleged, let me say that, Steve had alleged that in 2006, he received a reel of 8-meter Miller film. Okay. And he received it from a woman who claims that she received it in a box of junk from an estate sale. And that's where the film came from. It had a tag on it that said Gable case M107. I didn't grab the numbers, but there's like some numbers on it to imply that this is special.
Okay.
And he says that he takes this video, and Linda Godfrey had like kind of how we have the Patreon. There's like a paid subscription that people can sign up to. Patreon.com/Wednesdays for us. But for Linda at the time, it was like a Yahoo group or something. Now, he claims that he took that film and uploaded it to YouTube with a private setting where only people from Linda's group could see it, but somebody stole it, and so it started circulating on the internet of its own free will. So Steve then decides in September to go ahead and upload the footage to his website, his Michigan, I think it's MichiganDogman.com. The website doesn't exist anymore. And, let people kind of do what they want with it. That is whatever. So, people are taking it. It's going all around. I watched the Gable film happen in real time. That's how old I am. That's how long I've been into this.
You're still in high school.
I was, yeah. I was so into it. I like cryptids. I tell everybody all the time, I was a big skeptic, and then I'm like, oh, but also I've been checking out Bigfoot since I was in middle school. Both two things can be true. I believed in animals that hadn't been proven by science yet, but I didn't believe in like aliens and ghosts. I was a big cryptid person. Crazy that I grew up to be more of a ufologist than anything else. I don't know why that happened. Fucking Mothman, but here we are. Blame him. So yeah, I watched all this happen. I tracked it all through cryptomundo.com, which was a great. I would wake up and check this website every single day because I'm a fucking nerd. And anyway, the Gable film pops up on there, and everybody's talking about it. And I remember seeing videos that are going frame by frame, analyzing every single stick, every single movement of this footage. It was exciting. And horrifying at the same time. And also definitely a lot of skepticism because it looked good. This was like the new, it was the new Patterson Gimlin film. It was a big deal. So what exactly is the Gable film? Let's talk about part one, because part one came out first. There are two parts. We'll get into both. Part one, it's clearly old film. Filmed on 8mm camera. That part's not up for debate. And it's a lot of like family footage, right? It's kids riding on snowmobiles. It's somebody chopping wood. It's very regular.
On the car.
Right. Film in the car. They got these old cars. And people are like kind of dating it based off of the vehicles being driven, right? The snowmobiles and the truck that we see and the way people are dressed. And it all looks very 1980s and everybody's in agreement with that. And then it gets weird because all of a sudden you've got this little footage, and it's not very long. I mean, it's only a couple minutes long, if that. And it cuts to this scene of somebody's holding the camera, and off in the distance is some type of creature. Some type of weird creature. And within just a couple of seconds, that creature charges at the cameraman. And the cameraman starts to run away, which kind of loses it. I mean, you do see it charge pretty much right up on him, and the cameraman ran off a little too casually for my taste. But not just that, it pans away from the creature, and then it pans back, and you get this final shot, and the final shot that you get is a mouth on the camera. Teeth and all. Teeth, tongue, roof of the mouth has ridges. It is a very detailed mouth on the camera. And then, of course, it cuts and it ends.
Yeah.
So super fascinating. Like I said, really fascinating piece of footage. And everybody is speculating. Now, one of the biggest issues that people had with this are like, obviously, who are the people in, like, who is this family? Who are they? Who's Gable? Where was this taken? People are trying to think of practical things for this, to try to track down where this footage possibly came from. All we have is Steve Cook saying it was purchased from an estate sale from a woman that he didn't ever name. What estate sale? Who was she? Another thing people are analyzing, because it is what we have the best shot of, is the mouth of the creature. One thing that was noticed very early on is if you do take it frame by frame, it's obviously practical. There is some creature that is running something towards this camera. And then when it gets to the shot of the mouth transitions weird. There is no smooth transition. There is no frame where you barely kind of see the shadow of the face moving into. It's just all of a sudden it's forest and then bam, it's a mouth.
Mouth, yeah.
So that had raised a red flag for a lot of people because it seemed to have been some type of manipulation, some type of splicing that had taken place. So people, of course, wanted to see the original film itself, the actual film. And that didn't get released to anybody, I think, even to this day, as far as I know. So Steve Cook is receiving a lot of criticism because there's already a lot of weird controversy around the fact that he literally created the Michigan Dogman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, which is unfair for him, because a lot of people are like, obviously Michigan Dogman wasn't a thing before Steve Cook, and now all of a sudden it is after a stupid song. And so it's not real, right? So they already don't really believe Steve. And again, he's getting a lot of criticism about, where did this come from? We need that information. Why is it out there? What did you gain from this? And Steve, in October of 2007, 2 months after he put it up on his website, comes out and says, look, this is clearly and obviously a hoax. And the reason why we know it's a hoax is because if you go frame by frame on that video, you'll see a human leg coming like out of the creature. It's a guy in a suit. Yeah. And nobody else saw that. Even now, I've watched it frame by frame so many times. I never have been able to make out a human leg in that video. But Steve, goes on to say other things like, he's like, look, it's a hoax. It's a human leg. But this is something that I want to talk about. So, you guys, maybe not you guys in particular, but people in the paranormal community are like, oh man, it's filled with too much drama nowadays. It's just all drama. People fighting each other and this, that, and the other. That's not new. That's been going on since it's been a community forever. And this was definitely one of those instances. You had people like Lauren Coleman going after Steve Cook and, talking about how disgraceful he was. Now, granted, people used to be cleaner in their insults than they are now. Yeah, but a little more professional, but clearly like coming after the guy. And then of course just general people on the internet were coming after the guy. And so Steve goes, oh yeah, it's a hoax, as a human leg, but here's this whole tirade about how you should not go after people and blame them. I'm just the messenger. I didn't hoax this. I didn't make this. Even my song, The Legend, I don't make money off of that. I donate all the proceeds, and he does, genuinely has donated all proceeds that he's ever made off that song to charity, to an animal sanctuary, which is great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he's like, so, I didn't do this. Don't shoot the messenger. And don't go after the hoaxers either, because I think that they weren't people with bad intentions. They were just people who were just excited to kind of push the folklore a little bit, So it was weird. It was a weird message that he put out there to the world, but whatever. People were happy enough with that to just kind of stop talking about it, because there was no reason to continue to start to talk about it. But then something happened in 2009, 2 years later. 2009, part 2 of the Gable film emerges. We didn't know at the time that this was part 2 of the Gable film. Well, I mean, we did, but we didn't. You know what I mean? But there was nothing that was put out there that
That
said,
said, this is part 2 of the Gable film. Okay.
right. What we got was a mysterious video that showed. Now, this one was definitely on a nicer camera. It was a little more professional, and this one was in better quality, so it had more color and stuff. The Gable film kind of had a more almost black and white. It was so, the quality was so bad. But this one,
Yeah, like you could tell like the snowmobiles had color to it. But
yeah,
like other than when the mouth came on, it was pretty much just black and white. And that's what I noticed too. When the mouth showed up at the end, like there was like this
detail.
brilliant purple.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so, part 2 comes out, and this one is our police officers that are doing some type of investigation. They're out in the middle of the woods. They've got like these little messages written on papers and stuff like that, and they kind of film like a general area where they show an 8mm camera on the ground, but then they show a big tarp on the ground and something shocking under said tarp. When they pull that tarp up, what they reveal is half of a body. And we recognize this body because it's a long-haired guy wearing a flannel shirt that we had seen in the Gable film. But not just that. The body also has like intestines and stuff hanging out. I mean, it's kind of gruesome looking, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, if it was real.
Yeah, if it was real. We see other clues, like the same truck that was featured in the original Gable film. So people are kind of putting 2 and 2 together. They're like comparing the person chopping wood with the person on the ground. But it's 2 different shirts. They noticed that. But that doesn't mean anything. Yep. Some people got multiple flannel shirts, And
it never said like he was chopping wood the same day he saw this thing. Like the first video was cut so many times. Like,
yeah.
You don't know what day it was?
That's true. Right. I have multiple flannels.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even chop wood or own an old blue truck. So,
right.
Or get chased by dogmen. I get chased by men that are dogs, but that's a different story for a different day. The real horror stories of cryptozoology. So, anyway, but again, there's nothing that really ties these 2 directly together, but everybody knows that it's Gable Film Part 2. But there's some things in it that are terrible. For one, the body looks not good. It looks fake. The back part of it looks fake. Like, the entrails and stuff look pretty good. The head and the arms look pretty good. But there's like a weird boxy shape to the torso.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're a horror movie person, like I am, a fake dead body right away.
Right.
Unless it's Tom Savini. He literally went to war to create the best props that he could, and it paid off. I
don't think they had that kind of money to pay him.
No, it wasn't. Savini would be like, he'd be so disappointed.
Right.
He'd be so disappointed. But no, it's just obviously, people were like, okay, so it's fake. But what the fuck is it still? Where did it come from? Who made it? Who faked it? How did they fake it? Because the animal, I'll tell you, it looks pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
It looks, to me, my initial thought when I see it, it looks like a bear.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I see. I think it looks like a bear. I think upon closer inspection, and I think it's the quote unquote hair on it that makes it look like a bear. But when I watch it a little bit more, then I start thinking like primate, like gorilla,
right.
like
the way it runs.
Boy. Yeah. So it's like, but it looks like an animal either way. So again, it was the next Patterson Gimlin film.
And if nobody ever took it frame by frame and just watched what this video gave you, they would have thought it was an animal.
They would have thought it was an animal, right? So
because the way like the video is shot and like the amount of time you see the animal to like the way it zigzags and you can't really focus on it, like, yeah, that could fool you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it looks good. So 2010 comes around. And at the time, one of the most popular cryptid shows at the time was Monster Quest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have praised Monster Quest because that was my shit. I don't watch a lot of these shows. I really did enjoy Monster Quest because I felt like, even though it was very hypey and they always had some scene of somebody trekking around the fucking woods doing nothing, they had the best information. And I think that they did genuinely try it. And now that I know who was behind Monster Quest as an adult, it was actually run by real cryptozoologists and stuff, you know, real people in the community. And so that's why it was so good. Makes sense.
Right.
But
Got
Monster
the
Quest,
information that they had because they study
right,
that.
they studied it. They were good at it. So Monster Quest comes out with their season 4 finale, and they are doing it on the Dogman, on the Michigan Dogman, and I watched this the whole episode today, and you know what? It holds up all right. It ain't too bad. The opening's a little cheesy, but
Mhm.
you know, this was fucking 16 years ago. It was bad, really bad CGI.
Right.
But it wasn't too bad. So I watched the whole episode, and you know, they're looking into claims of Dogman. So they got some people, some encounters and stuff. But the biggest thing that they did was analyze this footage. And they didn't even need to do that. Now, for the show's sake, of course, they did have experts on there. They had this biologist on there, and she looks at the footage and she goes, "That is not, like, I've worked with wolves my whole life. That's not a wolf. Like, that's a
Mhm.
primate." That's what she says. It's a primate for sure. Moves like a primate. It's nothing else I've ever seen. They've got this video analysis guy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, there's definitely some lint, and that's normal for these films." And uh, I would like to see the original. He does point out the cut between like the wood, the wood cut and the teeth, and he mentions the same thing everybody else had called out. It's unusual, and you could only
Right.
really see that if you saw the physical copy of the film itself, because you would see where they physically cut and splice those two scenes together.
Mhm.
Anyway, so you know, they do their thing, and then of course they have Steve Cook on there, and he tells that story about the lady with the estate sale and all that. And then they get to the end of the show, and they're like, "By the way, have you guys met Mike?" They bring out a gentleman by the name of Mike Agrusa, who not only 100% admits that he made this film, he then goes on to show the Monster Quest folks exactly how he did it, including showing him the fake prop body.
And that's where the second round of fighting comes in with all these people.
Gosh, you're so right. We're almost there. But you know, this is where this got revealed at. And so,
Mm.
you know, again, Mike comes on, he shows them all the vehicles he used, and it's an exact match.
Oh yeah.
It really is the same thing. He even puts on the prop body and and it's again an exact match. And you know, they're like, "Well, how did you make the creature?" And he says, "Oh, well, I found this old ghillie suit and put it on, and then I just, you know, ran, and it looked great." So then he even like mentions how like taken aback he was because it looked so goddamn good on film when he shot it. He was like, "Wow, that's amazing." And you know, he puts on a ghillie suit and he runs towards the camera, which I'm sold. Good enough for me. It looks great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's better quality because it's Monster Quest TV quality.
Right.
You know, and it's not the same ghillie suit. It's not the same ghillie suit. Oh, God, let me say that again. It's not the same ghillie suit he used to film it, but it looked good. So then it cuts to like Steve Cook. It cuts to Steve Cook for such a brief moment, and Steve's kind of the one that introduces Mike in a way. But what we gather is that Steve was in on this the entire time.
Oh.
Yeah. And because then it cuts to Mike, and Mike's like, "Oh, well, I saw Steve and what he was doing with the song." And, you know, he talks a bunch about Steve Cook. He's like, "Yeah, I thought it was great." And he's like, "I tried to kind of sell this as like a kind of like a short film to different people, but, you know, I sent it to Steve and he took it." Steve knew exactly where this came from. That's why that weird ass statement came out in the very beginning. There really
The
was
April Fool's joke.
the April Fool's joke. Yeah. In the middle of September for him this time, I guess. There was never a human leg visible in the film. I think that he got so much heat. He just said that. He just said it. and denounced it as a hoax to try to distance himself from it so that people would stop bothering him about it. And then, he, like I said, he goes on this big monologue about the hoaxers. And I don't think Mike is a bad guy. I don't think he really did it like that
No,
on
he
purpose.
literally said, I tried to sell this as a short film to people. Like,
Right.
that's not a bad guy move. Like, he was trying to make a short film.
You know, and it looked good, but he goes to the whole narrative. He's talking about, you know, in the whole thing, he's like, you know, you see people's family videos and like nobody really wants to see that. They're not interesting at all. Like it's just
Right.
doing regular people shit. And that's why he films regular people shit. But the excitement comes when you have this random shot of this creature. So like now maybe you should go to thrift stores and stuff and watch people's footage because you never know what you might find, you know. And which is great. It really does work as a short film. It's really
Oh,
good
yeah.
in that context. You know, he admitted that he made part 2. He put part 2 out there just because he saw how good part 1 was doing.
Mhm.
He shoots and films part 2 and it gets out and about and he's excited to see it getting through. You know, I don't think he had bad intentions, but I do think he was excited to see that people were buying it.
Who wouldn't be excited?
Right. Just like Tom Savini, again, fought a whole war so that he could give you an accurate depiction of what a head blown off with a shotgun looks like.
Mhm.
And he's very proud of that work because he knows it's accurate. You know, any artist is going to feel that way. And Mike is definitely the artsy type, you know.
Well, you did a great job then.
He did, right? He made people believe it. So, I mean, this is solved. It's solved. You have the guy not only admitting to being the one that hoaxed it, but you got him reenacting almost exactly how he did it.
Right.
You know, but the internet's not satisfied with that.
Oh, absolutely not. This stuff is crazy.
There are, I feel like more people, or maybe they're just more outspoken, definitely more people out there talking about how this whole Monster Quest episode was a psyop.
Yeah. Like, really?
To cover up the fact that it was real. Okay. Because no man can move like that. Because one argument that I saw was that the ghillie suit that was shown in Monster Quest, because it wasn't the same one,
Mhm.
that means there's no original suit.
Right. Whatever. Those things get ripped and old so fast, and you think 16 years later, the thing's gone.
You know, people, and he admits he found it at a thrift store. It probably was gross and dingy, so it's probably a lot darker. And the shot with the dog mouth was, guess what? It was his dog, probably. I don't think anybody's ever mentioned that, but it probably was a real inside of a dog's mouth, and it was probably his fucking dog, or the neighbor's
Right.
fucking dog, or the shelter's fucking dog. It's not hard to find dogs. They're real.
Right.
You know they are.
It was probably his, because his dog was in the video.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he did have a dog. There was a dog in the video. So there, yeah. Yeah, it was his dog, probably. You know, but people are convinced. And the argument that they're using is that, well, Bob Hieronymus claims to be the guy in the Bigfoot costume in the PG film, and Philip Morris is the guy who admits to making that costume. And you know what? Okay, I see what you're getting at here, my guy. I do. I'm picking up what you're putting down here. But here's the difference. Okay, here's the difference is that Bob Hieronymus and Philip Morris were given the opportunity with TV money to recreate that footage, shot for shot. Okay, that's the opportunity that they were presented with. Mike was not presented with that opportunity. They didn't have him make it shot for shot, but he did he basically did that.
Right.
But if given the chance, I think he would have happily done it shot for shot, and that would have been it. When Bob and Philip Morris were tasked with that, I think it was from Discovery or something, when they were tasked with that, the suit that they came up with and the video that they came up with was so fucking bad that the TV network didn't air it.
Wow.
It didn't match at all. And you're talking about a man who had nothing. Who was Roger Patterson. He was broke as fuck. And you're talking about a suit that has actual muscle movement on it that nobody at that time could replicate, and still hasn't to this day made an accurate patty suit. It's just, these are apples and oranges here. And also, when Roger Patterson got that footage out there, Bob Gimlin, first of all, Bob Gimlin took off. He wanted nothing to do with it. He didn't come out until like 30 years after this footage came out, when he started talking about he was the one that was there that day. Mike Agrusa takes this film and hands it right over to Steve Cook and goes, "Hey, I shot this. Show it to people."
And he starred in it.
He's in it.
Right.
So he just happened to be some guy with long hair, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm the one that did it, and he didn't. He happens to own the same 2 snowmobiles and the same truck. He still had it at his property.
And that's the crazy part. Those snowmobiles were old to begin with.
Old as fuck, right? He had the body, the fake body. But you're telling me that this is a government psyop to cover up the existence of Dogman, which, let me remind you, while I do admit that the creature in the video does look like a creature, 100% does not look like any Dogman report that's ever been out there, because guess what, dumb fucks? It walks on 2 legs. That's this whole thing. That's the whole deal.
Right. That's why man is in the back of the word.
Right. I mean, that's the whole thing about it, is that it's a bipedal. It's like a werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
It's bipedal. And it ran at this man on all 4s?
Yeah, that's not even scary. Well, it's scary, but it's not like, oh my God. I don't even know if I told you this or somebody else. Like, if I ever come across a cryptid in the wild and it has the word man tagged to the back of its name, I'm gone. I'm out. Not even gonna fucking deal with that shit. Goat man, dog man. I'm not doing it. The wild man, not doing it. Nope.
But what if he's like, but I'm not, but I go by Bigfoot over here. You're like, oh, Bigfoot, not big man? Okay, you're good. He starts yelling after you. Oh my gosh. No, I mean, that's a fair point. Right, that's the whole point. These creatures are, especially like Dogman, would be probably more supernatural if it exists. I mean, it doesn't look like a Dogman. The only thing that I think looks, and people say it has pointed ears, I just have never been able to really see that. And he does admit to using coat hangers to make pointed ears, which is effective.
Right.
They bend, the only thing that I saw attributed to it was the mouth, because it clearly is a canine's mouth. That's obvious. But it looks like a primate. So, and I agree with that. It moves like a primate, 1,000%. And there's some people that are like, oh, well, when Mike does the run in Monster Quest, his butt is in the air, and this thing's butt isn't in the air. Yes, it is. Did you watch the same fucking video that I did?
Well, you also got to think too, how old was Mike in 2007 when this video came out?
That's true.
This is 16 years later. Maybe he can't run without his butt in the air anymore.
Well, no, Monster Quest did their episode in 2010, so it was only 4 years later. But still, 4 years depends.
Right.
27 to 30, that's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Or 26 to 30. I guess I should math right. Yeah, people insist humans don't move like that. Oh, yes, they do. Again, you don't watch enough horror movies.
Have you seen my creepy little kid? He can move. However the heck he wants to move to scare the crap out of you.
Is he a weird mover? I'm always envious of people.
You saw that video of him in that bodysuit when he's creeping in the driveway, and I put it in black and white with a old cinema, a cinema. I can't even think right now.
Filter.
Yeah. Well, anyways, it looks like an old movie of some creepy gray alien walking up the driveway, and it's just my kid John.
Right. Just because you can't move like that doesn't mean that Mike Agrusa can't.
Mm-hmm.
Because he does do a damn good job. I don't know. It was impressive, and I'll give him props for that. It's impressive, but it's still not real, you guys. I'm sorry, it's
Right.
not. And I know I
Like, you
just
saw
told
the guy
you.
chopping wood. You saw the guy working on his car. He's a pretty big built guy.
Right.
Like,
He's
maybe you should, like, instead of just using your words, go find a big built guy, have him run downhill in a ghillie suit, and try filming it and see what it looks like.
probably contact Mike. I'm sure he's still around. Shit.
Yeah. Well, this is like 20 years later. He might not want to run like that anymore.
No, that's true. But one of his kids might. He's got kids.
Yeah.
They might be good at it. I don't know.
Call my kid. He'll do it.
We'll figure it out, right? We'll make it. We'll get a ghillie suit. We'll dirty it up,
I've got tons of those here. They're all hunters.
and then we'll film the inside of your dog's mouth,
Right.
and people will think it's real.
Challenge accepted.
It's not real, guys. And I get it, because for Dogman stories, people want it to be a thing so bad. People want Dogman so bad to be real.
Mhm.
And maybe it's because you've seen one and you want that validation,
Right.
I'm with Steve on this. I'm skeptical about the creature, but I do believe that people believe that that's what they've encountered.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But there's a lot of bullshit stories around it, and that's, again, a huge problem. And the more we continue to feed those bullshit stories, the worse it gets. I lost people that I thought were like my friends when me and Tobias did the Land Between the Lakes massacre episode.
Hmm.
Because I guess they want to believe in it so bad. There's no room for criticism. And that's the thing about me, is that I've always said that, like, if I'm pitching you an idea on something and I can't answer the hard questions about that something, which is, we asked a lot of hard questions or pointed out a lot of hard facts about that stuff. If I can't answer those hard questions, then maybe I need to reframe what it is I'm trying to sell you.
Right.
That's how I conduct myself as a researcher, as an investigator. And I think that we all should. But the Dogman community, I've said this before and I'll say it again, it's the most toxic community I've ever seen in all the paranormal. And I know you guys hear it all the time about how much drama there is, but the Dogman people, there's something fucking else, man.
See, and I don't know, because I know people in that community, but I've never been like a part of it. So like, I don't know. Maybe they are toxic. Like maybe they aren't to each other. I just don't know.
Friends, I bought gifts for some of those people's babies, and they blocked me on everything because I questioned a fake massacre story. It's insane. It's insane.
I remember that story. Yeah. I know that story. But like, it's like there's a bunch of bullshit stories for every cryptid.
There is.
And it pretty much comes down to it's what you want to believe and what you don't want to believe.
How badly you want it, I guess.
And that's fine. Like, some people really, really want to believe in something that no one's ever proved to be out there. They just have, like, the stories from it. And that's fine. I want to believe in something bigger, too. And hopefully it's just not us walking around killing each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
for sure. Well, and that's the thing about it. Like, if you're serious about the research, and let me say this again, if you're serious about the research and finding answers to these things, it doesn't make you a non-believer.
Right.
If you look at something like the Gable film and go, that's not real. And I know that's not real because this and this, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can still believe in Dogman, and the Gable film can still be fake. Both things can be true here. And so that's where, I don't know why people get so attached to these things. Again, they want it, I guess. I don't know. I don't get it. I'm not that person, so I can't understand it. Distrust the government. I don't know. They genuinely believe, like, Dogman's like one of those things. Cryptids. There's people that believe that cryptids are being covered up by the government.
Right.
I don't trust the government, But I don't believe that the government gives a shit about cryptids. I just don't. I don't know why they would.
I just don't know what the benefit of it would be.
No. Well, people say because of logging. Because if Bigfoot was real, then the big logging companies that pay the government, wouldn't be allowed to log in those areas anymore. But all they have to do right now is just say, all anybody has to do is go, well, there's an endangered species there, and you can't log there. I know. I just watched Dr. Dolittle 2, and it was all about that. And because there was an endangered species in the forest, they couldn't cut down the forest. The bad guys in the movie, and. So, I mean, what would it make a difference if it was a Dogman or a Bigfoot or an owl that is endangered?
Mm-hmm.
We already have that. We have protected areas where you can log and places where you can't. And that's not really a big issue now anymore. We have whole log farms for stuff.
Right.
We're not decimating our forests like we used to because we learned that we shouldn't do that. So that doesn't check out. They're like, well, but like if the megalodon was real, then people wouldn't go fishing. And it's like, okay, but like the great white shark is real and people still go fishing. Like, I don't, it's a 30-foot shark versus a 60-foot shark. 30-foot shark.
I'm not going swimming with either of them. So
right, exactly. Like they're both a threat. I don't. The conspiracies that come out around it. But again, it all ties back to that distrust in government.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've admitted it right here on the show in this episode that you can't really trust the government. And it's true, and it's because they lie. But that doesn't necessarily mean that everything's a cover-up.
Right.
That's just silly. So, I don't know. But I like doing these solved episodes and just kind of letting you guys know. Because, I think that maybe there's some people that didn't know about Monster Quest. I didn't know that this was debunked already, really. They didn't have the facts, but you can go and watch the whole episode right yourself, right on YouTube. It's on there. It's free.
The one thing I do want to say, though, is I saw this on somebody's comment in a Reddit post about this, and it makes the most sense out of everything that 100% made me believe this is a fake movie. If I didn't know anything else, a cinematographer commented that those old 8mm cameras only work when your finger is on the button. And that made so much sense to me because in that, right before the mouth comes, when he falls and drops the camera is still rolling. And that just put all the credit to me. Like, that's fake.
I didn't know that. And who would if you have never used one of those cameras?
And if you go to the second movie, the 8mm camera was found, the body was found, but they were not attached. The arm was not on the camera. So that even gives it more credit.
Oh. So like maybe the arm got bitten off and stayed holding onto the camera?
Yeah, but it didn't because it was attached to the torso. In the second part.
And what's up with the Dogman? Because of part 2, like allegedly only eating like the bottom half of the person, like the butts and genital area.
Yeah, more fat? I don't know.
But backs would be tasty, I would think.
Well, I think if you're going to eat a human, you might as well just eat the whole human.
The whole thing, right? Why waste any at all?
Right. Like when we like butcher animals and stuff, we try to make like everything last. Get use out of everything.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why didn't the Dogman skin the head and make a nice little hat out of that long hair? And, I don't know. I'm just speculating at this point.
Posable thumbs? I don't know.
That's fake. Obviously, clearly fake. I don't know. Like I said, I like talking about these solved cases just because it's nostalgic for me. Again, I got to watch all this happen in real time. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
That was really, really exciting days. Nowadays, I've just seen so much. I was like rereading Cryptomundo, and Lauren Coleman was the one who was writing about the Gable film specifically. It was different cryptozoologists, but Lauren Coleman was one of them. And he, said some things that's just funny how I identify with now. And it's just about how, when the film came out, he was immediately skeptical. And it's just because of his years of doing this over and over again. And most of this shit ended up being fake. You're just kind of used to that. That's just kind of your go, like that's your immediate go-to, and it kind of sucks that it is that way, but
right.
when it happens over and over again, what do you do? I mean, and I get it, because I do the same thing. I see anything now, I'm like, oh yeah, that's fake. Now let me figure out how it's fake. Instead of, as a spectator, previously, I'd look at something like the Gable film and be like, oh my God, it's real. That's really Dogman. Holy shit.
So did Lauren Coleman ever find this Mike guy and just ask him himself?
I don't think, I didn't see anything where he talked about talking to Mike specifically. I do believe that the first time Mike ever spoke out publicly or anybody knew it was a hoax was with that season 4 finale episode, that Monster Quest episode. But I'm pretty sure people have talked to him since then, after that aired.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's already out. Why not? You already went on Monster Quest.
For Monster Quest, on their side, it was like, look, we solved a mystery. And they were, trying to keep that under wraps. They probably had them sign an NDA and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So they couldn't really reveal it, But yeah, I don't know. Good question. We could talk to him. It wouldn't help anything. People are still going to think he's a government agent.
It doesn't matter.
But to me,
if he made the film, he's in the film. He has all the stuff for the film, and he's telling me it was fake. I believe him.
What else could you possibly need to know that it's fake? What more could someone do to prove to you that they made it? That's wild to me that, they need more. But again, it's that distrust in government, that want to hang on to it as much as, as real as it is.
Well, they also went into the missing person by wildlife. They contacted the state government and asked about missing people due to wild animal attacks in that year. And the person that they talked to said that there was nothing, but when they did their own research, came back that there was actually a lot of animal attacks that year. So it's back to not trusting the government.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. Well, and that's another thing people use. The government covers up cryptids because it would hurt tourism. It would hurt people. It's not, because there's fucking bears and pumas and coyotes and snakes. There's all kinds of shit that will kill you out in the woods, and we still go out there.
And there's so many people that want to see these things. It would probably hype up your tourism.
Right. If you had the chance, if you knew of a park for a fact that had a Bigfoot, I would go.
Right.
I would call off work tomorrow. I would drive there.
I mean, I'm going to wait till I see proof of somebody else being up close and personal with them first before I go. Because if I don't want to be the first one to get my head torn off. But if it's cool with them, just hanging out, that's fine. I'd go.
Yeah, as long as it's not the grass man. As long as it's Bigfoot proper, that's fine. I'll be there.
Right. If it's Bigfoot or a Yeti or...
if you knew that you even had a chance to see one. For sure. People would go. I mean, it would hype up the tourism. That's so ridiculous. Again, it doesn't stop the other animals that we already have that will kill you. And we have plenty. Doesn't stop anybody from going out to the woods.
I had this fascination with ABCs, and I wanted to see a panther so bad. And there was one at one of the zoos we went to in Pennsylvania, and when we went to Cook's Forest, and it was you could get so close to it. It was in cage, but you could get so close to it, and just seeing how big a panther was.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
That's one big pussy.
Yeah.
Wow. Biggest one I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
No, they really are massive. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
We have a local place here who had a cougar.
Okay.
And the thing about the place here is that you can definitely get it's their house. It's their house, and they have all these exotic. And I've talked about it before. It's called Idle Hour Ranch in Ohio, and it's actually really fucking cool. But they had these animals before and have raised them since birth. Before Ohio put all their laws in place about exotic pets, so they got to
Oh,
keep
okay.
them, but couldn't get any more. So we got to see the big cat. I believe he has passed away since then, but he was pretty old when we saw him, and he's a big boy.
Oh yeah.
He's a big boy. And the guy, I mean, like I said, it's at their home. Like it's literally their fucking house. And so he will walk around. Well, there's people there looking at the animals and don't tell you all about them. And he's telling us all about if I got in that cage with that cat, he would rip my limbs off. But if my daughter got in the cage with that cat, he would be putty in her lap.
Really? Okay.
Loved her, bonded with her. That was her kitty. It was very, like I said, very interesting place, very interesting family, nicest people ever. But yeah, they had a big cat. They don't now, but they do have other things that you can go. Like they've got skunks and things like that normally you don't get up close and personal with because obvious reasons.
Right.
But yeah, it's like that. You could like just walk right up to the cage and pet them.
Yeah, I wasn't petting this thing, but
No.
I could walk like right there.
And he advised people don't. He's like, don't do it. But you could. So really interesting stuff. But yeah, no, that's they'll kill you. Those big cats. I mean, we talked about that one video of that guy being chased down by the cougar mom.
Yeah.
And it's horrifying.
I would not want that.
No, she was going to kill him. And he just got lucky, I guess. I don't know. She got bored, went on back to her babies. So yeah, I mean, I don't see how cryptids would affect tourism at all. We got plenty of people that
wouldn't
do the dumbest shit and get themselves mauled and attacked.
Right.
For the good selfie or whatever. That ain't stopping nobody. I don't know. But maybe there's a perspective here, guys, that I don't see. Maybe you believe that the Gable film is real despite all the evidence. And maybe you have a good argument for it. Just like with the other solved episodes, I will challenge you to give me some good evidence. Give me some good counter evidence to the facts. And I'm happy to change my mind. Hasn't happened yet. But I am not too proud to say when I'm wrong. So, I don't know. Maybe you've thought of something, or maybe you came across something, and maybe you know for sure that Mike guy is just an asshole psyop for the government, and you have all the proof. Send it to me. We'll talk about it on the show.
He seems pretty cool.
I hang out with him. Yeah, he seems like a neat dude. He seems fun.
He's a creative person.
Yeah, he could probably make
in my opinion, I don't think anybody in that situation did anything wrong. So there's no reason to be mad at anybody if it's a hoax, which it was. Like, that's amazing. That's genius. Obviously, he's very talented. He did a great job.
I agree. Yeah, like I said, I don't think that he did it intentionally. I do think that Steve Cook is kind of grimy, but not initially. I don't think Steve comes up with schemes. But I do see Steve falling in line with things and using it to his advantage. He's smart.
Right.
He's a smart guy. I do think that he does this for money. Don't think he believes in Dogman at all. I don't even know if he's still alive, honestly. I don't know if he's still kicking. I do have a fun story, though, about the that song that he made.
Okay.
I went to the bar, and I think I kind of talked about this on the show a little bit on my weekend. I went to the nerd bar. And some guy was there, and he was talking about Annabelle. And it's funny because I was there with a listener of the show, of one of the fans of the show, and the fan was like looking at me, and he's like, "Yeah, he doesn't have any idea who you are, does he?" I'm like, "Nope, he sure doesn't." Because all the Annabelle stuff was happening. Well, I disclosed who I am, and the guy got very excited because he was obviously there with a real life celebrity.
Right. That's how I feel when I'm with you.
Yeah, you should. Everybody should. Yeah. Because I'm like, just Google me. And that always looks really impressive.
I always have to make sure my hair's done and my makeup's on because I know nobody's going to put their cameras away.
You never know. Right. It's crazy. Flooded. But then he started talking about the Michigan. Do you know about the Michigan Dogman? I'm like, well, yeah, of course. He's like, my dad helped write that song.
Really?
Really? And that is interesting because in doing research for this episode, looking into that song a little bit more, it says that Steve does credit a man named Bob Farley with
Okay.
the song. So, I mean, why would you lie about something like that? I don't
Right.
know. You know, if he's from the area and he's really familiar with it, with the hype, maybe, but I don't know. I think it might have been the son of the guy that helped write it. I don't know.
Have you seen him again?
No,
I need to
I haven't
ask his
seen him again.
name.
But yeah,
What's
if I
your
do,
dad's
I
name?
will. Yeah, definitely will. But he's not from here. I think he was just
Oh,
visiting
okay.
from Michigan. We just happened to be in. I mean, how crazy is that? We're happen to be in the same fucking bar together.
Right.
What are the odds? The world's so weird.
It is.
So
It definitely is.
anyway, do you have any closing thoughts about anything we talked about?
No. I mean, obviously, like the video is genius. It's a hoax. It's a genius hoax. It's just like the Blair Witch Project. As long as you don't tell anybody, they got to think it's real. And then when it comes out as a hoax, everybody's going to start arguing. Perfect. Gives us something to talk about today.
Yep. I think it's funny because Lauren Coleman, in his original article when it first came out, I think calls it the Blair Dog Project or something like that. Like he likened it to the Blair Witch Project. So,
Yeah.
Great minds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's I wouldn't even call it a hoax. I wouldn't call it a hoax. I would just call it it's fake, but again, I don't think it was intentional to really trick anybody. Aside from having, I guess he did have a few moments of being like, haha, I tricked everyone, but obviously I'm just such a good artist, which he deserves because
Right.
it worked.
Did a good job.
He did a good job. So I don't know. Anyway, well, okay. With that being said, guys, I'll remind you again, do not, by any means necessary, do not trust your government. Question everything. Because they're lying to you about something. It's probably not cryptids, but it's about something.
Right. And if you want to talk more about not trusting the government, is it next Thursday we have our Patreon one-on-one Zoom call?
Next Thursday? Is it already coming up? Oh my
think
goodness
so.
gracious. The last Thursday of the month. That would be next Thursday, January the 29th. You can hang out with us. We can talk about the government. We can talk about the Gable film. We can talk about anything that we've talked about this month.
There'll be another
yes.
painting on this month's episodes.
Perfect. Another giveaway. So your chance to be a winner, all you have to do is sign up for our $5 tier, patreon.com/WednesdaysTalk. Whether you come to the meeting or not, if you're signed up for that tier, you are entered into winning one of Cassie's fine painting based off of one of this month's episodes. Do you know what it is yet? Have you decided?
Yep, I sure do.
Exciting. Wow. Okay. Well, we'll see you there next Thursday, not this Thursday. And we'll also see you back here next Wednesday.